Hey, that's smart. Okay. Just something that the sensei talks a lot about, that the senses are contaminated. Okay, and so Misogi got Aikido training as Misogi cleanse the senses. So we get, because the senses let us know what's going on and who we are, our relationship with the world. So what we're going to do a little bit right here, if you're going to play with an image like those old animated cartoons where something surprising happens and the character's eyeballs go out here. Have you seen those? Okay. So what if we're really part of the contamination of the senses is our eyeballs are out here? When you look at the world, it's really screwed up. Pandemic getting worse, even though there's higher rate of vaccination. That's almost impossible. Afghanistan. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Climate crisis. Okay. So we're going to play a game. One of our major senses is sight. We see with our eyes. Okay. We're going to play a game which is simply breathe through your eyes. And of course, there's what does that mean? You figure it out. No, it's simple. We breathe usually through our nose or our mouth. But what if you were just to be able to breathe through your eyes? And there's a whole thing about soft eyes. That's where soft eyes come in. My eyeballs are out there. And as you start to breathe through your eyes, the eyeballs out there start to come a little bit more in here. So breath is a way of cleaning your system out. Now, the world out there hasn't physically changed, but all of a sudden, my relationship to it has changed. Breathing through my eyes. And of course, that breath is going somewhere. So my eyeballs are out there. I'm physically breathing, but as I breathe through my eyes, one, my relationship with soft eyes changes things out there. And two, the breath comes in here, which it can't do. It does physically, but my eyeballs are out there. I look around, another crisis. Boom. So if you want to have a center, you got to breathe through your center. So breathe through your eyes. Breathe through your eyes. Just start to move the body, but you're breathing through your eyes. I see the world out there moving out there. I'm breathing through my eyes. The breath is coming inside me. The movement itself is coming from a much more of an interior place. My eyeballs are out there. The further they are out there, the weirder the world is. The world doesn't change. But I can change my relationship to the world and change my relationship to myself. Okay? So just a second or two, just as if you could breathe through your eyes. The more you breathe through your eyes, the less the attention is out here, and then the attention is a little bit more. Okay? Breathe through your eyes. Okay? Now, for example, let's just say he grabs onto me. My eyeballs go out there, but when I breathe through my eyes, I'm breathing more to an interior place. I see the world, I bump into things, I know it's heavy, it's kind of going through a bad phase. But when I start to breathe through my eyes, I know the world is a certain way, but I start to feel myself in relationship to the world differently. Okay? Okay, now out there, things are heavy. I bump into things. I want to do something the world doesn't know. I start to breathe through my eyes. I start to change my relationship to myself. Freer, easier. I start to see more of the whole room as opposed to, okay, all of a sudden I just see the problem in front of me. So I just breathe through your eyes. Okay? Simple. Try to figure it out. Well, what does it mean? My eyes don't breathe. Well, when you're breathing, oxygen goes through your body. If you cut off the oxygen to your eyes, what's going to happen to your nerves? So yeah, you do breathe through your eyes. I'm talking about, however, more of an intimate experience. I don't like what I see out there. Yeah, it's not going to change, but I can change myself. That's just you're standing, just that two-handed uplifting koku exercise, okay? Yeah. See, what happens a little bit is, I see the world, it's heavy, it's the oppositional. But when I start to breathe through the eyes, the physical world doesn't change, but I change my relationship to it, and I change my relationship to myself. Okay, so if you're coming in this direction. Now grab firm. The physical world doesn't let up. Okay, yeah, it doesn't. But I can change my relationship to myself, and therefore, through that, my relationship to the world changes, and through that, the world may start to change. Okay, good. You're right there. Where are my eyeballs? About 3 feet in front of my eyes. Okay. Okay. That's where we are right now. So it's a very important thing because our sight, before our eyes, creates to some degree our perception of the world, and that reflects back on our sense of who we are. Okay, we're playing with, let's come in a little bit closer. We're playing with breathe through your eyes. Breathe through your eyes. Breathe through your eyes. The game is, and those cartoons where something happens and the cartoon figure's eyeballs go out there. Well, maybe we're like that. And maybe what Osensei says about cleanse the senses, the world is heavy, stupid, a mess. Well, there's an uplifting quality to things. But my eyeballs are out there, all I see is the mess. Okay. So what we're doing is just simply shifting. Where my eyeballs are all the way out there. Start to breathe through the eyes and start to, when I start to breathe through the eyes, of course I'm physically breathing, but my breath starts to circulate more interiorly. And it puts me into a different place with myself, which puts me into a different place with the world. Okay? So we're just playing with that. What if anytime you go somewhere, like you're even driving, you could be breathing through your eyes, nourishing your soul. Okay. All I do is exist to pay taxes and bills and deal with stupid institutions. Not much of a world. My eyes are here. The world's heavy, doesn't change. But You're missing something. Okay, all right. So I did one hand, but do the two hands. Yeah. If we start to look at things, it's like the world, not much is possible. But when I start to breathe through my eyes, instead of my senses, the clogged senses switch out here. Now I'm starting to breathe, not least at the chest. I'm starting to breathe through the tummy, to breathe through my whole system. I start to kind of contact like a center, or, you know, in certain cases, the earth breathes. See, my senses are so clogged, I never catch that. All right. The earth itself breathes. And boom, and I catch the fact that maybe the whole universe is a harmonious, loving breath, but we walk around here and assemble that crazy world out there. Okay? Well, that's what we're playing a little bit with it. It's a simple game. Breathe through your eyes. Trying to figure it out, you get caught up in the rhetoric. Breathe through your eyes. And mainly when my eyeballs are out here, there's all this noise going on in my head. The crazier the world gets, the crazier that noise gets. So breathe through your eyes. You start to breathe through your chest, so you have some heart. And it's hard, you know, when everything's out there and the world is just nuts. Right? Start to get some breathe through your belly, you got some courage. Start to breathe through your feet, you catch the fact that the earth breathes. So you have a relationship with nature. Nature didn't create the governments and the stupid systems. Now we're kind of unbalancing nature a bit, but it's easy. Breathe through your eyes. Bring your eyeballs a little bit more in here. Quiet that dialogue. You have no heart. Yeah, we don't have any heart when we're out here in that harshness. So breathe through your eyes. Some days I just feel gutless. I'm too afraid to try anything. Breathe through your eyes. Get some belly, get some courage. I feel so separate from it. And breathe through your eyes. Begin to feel the earth. And all of a sudden, my breathing, and the earth kind of is alive. I feel a part of the earth. I feel a part of something. Okay? Okay? Now, take this very slow. We'll go that way. Do one hand now. Just do a complete blending. Okay? Right? As a Warrior fan, this is all I saw was ineptitude and hopelessness. Then Stephen Curry came around. right? I mean, that's just an example. It's not the Messiah or anything, but it's like you have to look at everything. It is fun. Well, I don't know. What if we just try breathing through our eyes? Figurating the system, unifying ourselves with nature, whatever you want to call it. Okay? So all we're doing right here is we're going to turn, warm up with a go-kyu-ho motion. Okay? Easy on the first couple. Okay? All right? Breathing through. You're kind of beginning to get it, but everything's coming at you. Breathing through your arm. You have something to offer the world. And the things may come at you, but you welcome them in. Okay? That's your eyeballs going out there. You see that feeling? You feel, look at the world will get nuttier. It's a really funny thing. We don't think things can get worse. Start looking at the world. Well, what can we do to make the world better, make ourselves better? That ground. You just start to breathe through your eyes. See, the whole thing. Why are the senses contaminated? Because we're looking at everything out there that's bad. We expect bad. Our thoughts are programmed to make bad happen because that's what happens. Okay. Last night, Tuesday night, I watched on the CW network Stargirl and the last episode this year of Superman and Lois. Why did I do that? There's a schedule. And I can say, oh yeah, I want to catch that. I can catch it, I can stream it later, but I actually can watch it live or whatever. But when we're here, this is clogged. We're creating a schedule out there. Okay. So start to breathe through. I start to breathe through the eyes. I start to, all of a sudden, I feel the breath going all the way to my feet. My feet have a relationship with the ground. Not a little bit of a stretch, but I realize the ground, the earth is breathing too. What am I going to do this? So first of all, start with breathing through my eyes. See how the eyeballs go way out there? We create a world that's out of control. The world may be out of control. We don't want to be out of control. So in those sense, they said, Misogi is cleansing the senses. Yeah, so bringing the eyeballs, vision, very important. Yeah. Well, let's go a couple more. Yeah, now you got some ground. Now I'll get out of your way. Good. Got some ground. You got some ground. All right. Got some ground. Now you're being proactive. You're extending before the attack. Also, what happens when you shift the emphasis a bit? Now you can learn tricks. You're supposed to do this, but somebody else up. Come on. Well, one of the things right there, when I go like this, I create the bent elbow. But what if we go this way? When I go this way too quick, see, I can. What if we go this way? It's a little the trick of the trade. What is that? Okay, instead of trying to twist and get my way, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna try to cut you off so I'll have more. No, there is so much. Let's share it. Have a better relationship. See, that's a very different psychology. I'll cut you off so I can get more. Yeah, isn't that for both of us? Well, we don't even know how much there is, so we do crazy things like that. So go, come on. Yeah. The other thing is you'll be surprised. Let it develop. Okay. So, I might contact you because I need some of your resources. Now let's develop a relationship first, see whether it's going to work out. You see that feeling a little bit? I need you to do this before I'm trying to talk to you and negotiate with you. Now let's get to know each other. Yeah, we have a common interest in certain things like environmental balance and whatever it is. And then all of a sudden it's like I'm not trying to negotiate an oil deal and ruin the environment. We're kind of discussing. Yeah, well, let's see about facilitating moving into alternative power. Let's be right now the world's consuming way too much. How can we in the next 5 to 10 years change the way the world relates to fossil fuels where we're almost totally environmentally sound? How can we do that? That's different. It's like, no, I want to make money, therefore, da, 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 right? Don't rush it. Let it develop. Let it develop. You can't rush yourself. I'm going to develop. Let it develop. But also a connection, with somebody I'm going to negotiate to get what I want. Let the connection develop. So go, come on. Yeah, don't rush that first part. Keep going. Yeah, you don't have to rush it. If you rush it, you may make a fortune and ruin the world. Keep going, come on. One of the things right there, you can have second thoughts, but go back to breathing through your eyes. Wait. Yeah, go back to breathing through your eyes. You see what I mean? You know, I mean, there's an area if you're Superman, you go, is the world worth saving? Well, at least my family is. So I'll do it for Lois and my kids. That's Superman and Lois. Because the world sometimes is out of control. But at some point, you know, even on a personal basis, right? I don't know if I can do this. We'll see. Establish a relationship with you. You know, and see right here, my eyeballs go out there too quick. Don't rush that. Number one thing you don't want to rush is your relationship with yourself. Let it just as simple, as fully as possible. You know, if the slightest the eyeballs go out, we're getting better, but let it develop. What's the rush? Well, we got to save the world, or you know, we got how many years? Yeah, that's right. And if we rush it, we'll make other mistakes. So let's just, yeah, we're going to go that direction, and let's establish a relationship. How are we going to save the world? Well, we got to save ourselves first. We're running around with our eyeballs out here, checking to see how bad things are. We guess what? Yeah, we'll get bad news, right? But don't rush it. There's no rush. It's only you getting you, and when you get that, what we're saying is you breathe through your eyes. You don't let the world create you. You start to create yourself within the world in a more balanced way. Okay, so go again. Okay, let's just everybody have a pause here for a bit. Let's come on. Well, let's just come on in a little closer. All right, have a seat. Little thing. What do you notice when you start to breathe through your eyes? I mean, you know, it says, well, let me figure that out. Let me try to do it better. What do I do? I always breathe through my nose and my mouth. Well, let's just breathe through your eyes stuff. Anybody notice anything? No? What? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, you know, that area there, we're holding so much, right? Because the way we perceive the world creates, unfortunately, our perception of who we are. So we're guarded, right? We can't be holding that and have any heart, really. You know what I mean? So in a sense, by saying, okay, well, it's not going to change. If I'm trying to change it out there, it's like being an activist right now. If they're out there working, that's great. But all of a sudden, if the eyeballs start to come in, breath is supposed to nourish us, right? And when we're out here, we're creating we're physically breathing. So when you start to kind of breathe to here, all of a sudden, if you're holding something, it'll kind of release. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? What? Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing you have, I mean, when you know, if you were to examine it, you have more of the soft eyes when you breathe through your eyes. If you're too much tunnel vision creates a world that's pretty scary. Okay. In fact, Trump was bad. What's Biden going to do? You know what I mean? You don't give people a chance. The other person has 4 years, pretty good dose of a chance. But you know, it's the point where, yeah, difficult situation. What's going to happen? But when we start to kind of look out there and get caught up in all that dialogue, our senses are clogged. We don't see ourselves. We start to hold. We start to be very guarded. You know? So you know, within that, you know, we're really looking at. Okay, I'm gonna breathe through my eyes. It's just to see the room as opposed to sections of it. The energy in my own system starts to circulate more. It's supposed to get caught up in what's going on in the world out there. In my sense of myself in relation to the world, which is usually powerless and I'm a victim and all that stuff. So that's you can't have any courage unless I can breathe through my belly, right? I can't breathe through my chest. I'm not going to have much heart or compassion. If I can't even breathe fully to my throat, I'm not going to be able to express myself. You see what I mean? So just in terms of shifting gateway, all right? Okay, let's stretch the legs. Now, this is a good one. It comes with a yokel man. All I see is the threat. All right? Start to breathe through. The hand's not the threat. The feet's not the threat either. Really what it is my own stupidity and my own lack of connection to me is the enemy because, you know, right? Oh, that hurt. Well, not really, but you know, it's like the world is painful, yeah. You're not a problem, but I'm seeing the outside, so that's the problem. And then I see you, and you're the problem. And let's just see the situation. Now from here, we got a lot of time. to do that. I'm small, the world is just always pushing me around. You know, well, I better go. Yeah. No, no. A lot of time. I can put the pieces in order. Okay. So that's a great one. Okay, well, we had the pandemic, then we had the Capitol insurrection. Now we're going into Afghanistan, but the pandemic is out. How can that happen? People are vaccinated. You know? All through that, my eyeballs get further out. Who am I? Amidst this crazy world, who am I? Well, I can see things in a much more. Right? So that's a good one. You see this? You see that? Read through your eyes. Your system organizes differently. You experience yourself differently. You experience the situation differently. Maybe you start to experience the world differently. Okay? So, old basic Yoko Menuchi, Shiho Nage. Okay? All right? Oh. Yeah. See how much time you have when you actually, unclog the senses? Isn't that crazy that we walk around with our eyeballs out here? We know better, but we do it because, the world is mesmerizing. And so you got to kind of self-defense is really understanding the tricks of the trade to get back to yourself in a good way. In the world, we see the world, we're not powerless. We can have our opinions and everything like that. And we count. And we feel connected, nothing else to the earth, to the ground, right? To nature. So we're not going to ignore the climate. Okay. And other than that, you get all that stuff of people ratting on each other and getting, bipartisan this, bipartisan that, and all it creates is more for the eyeball to stretch out. 45th president was very good. You want to look out there, I will get all your attention. So as we start to go more this way, it doesn't count. Or somebody like that, you see what I mean? But if you're out there, you're looking for somebody. So yeah, okay, I'm going to make America great again. Well, okay. But that's a good idea, but let's see what it looks like when you're breathing through your eyes. And you have some heart. And you have some courage of your own. And you feel connected to things. I know I'm connected with it, but we share the same earth. So if it's coming in this direction, boom. Now all of a sudden, I get my eyeballs go out there this risk. I wants to come in there. I've got something to say about it. You kind of rip his arm. We're going to give him his arm back in the same gentle way. That results in a powerful message. Okay, that's a win-win-win for everything. Environment wins. Aikido wins. We're both winning as opposed to like losing. You see what I mean? So keep going. Come on. So one of the things right there, right in the middle of it, it's very, again, senses being clogged. Okay, those senses said, it's like with Misogi, you're around where the senses clogged. What does that mean? It's dialogue out here, purchases out there, eyeballs there. Conversely, you watch the news and the world is pretty bad. You see what I mean? It's like right here, see here. Okay. And also feel, for example, like all of a sudden we go here and right about here, the world weighs a lot. Okay. So feel. Now, for example, if you're coming in here, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good, but then things get heavy. Okay. I got to compete with you to see who gets it. No, there's more than enough for both of us. Let's share, work together on this project. See what I mean? I understand the philosophy. That's good. We got to just go. Yeah, good. Yeah, the actual training itself. Misogi. See? And one of the things you're trying to do is just unclog the senses. And since bogged down way a lot, there's a tendency to lose, the expression like things, lose space. You know? Then we get caught up with our eyeballs like 3 feet in front of us. And the senses are really clogged. So, what happens is the world has weight. The world oftentimes is in a lot of stupid, crazy movement. Okay, so, things come at us, and all of a sudden I'm kind of, gosh, one thing after another. There's a pandemic, and then there's the election, and there's insurrection, and whatever it is. Yeah. Question? Yeah. Okay. So, one of the things here, boom, what happens right here? Well, I'm not, my eyeballs, this and that here. Just in the room. Not right about here, that's all good. And all of a sudden, he weighs a lot. And also by the world sees an opening, kind of, so right about here. Yeah. It's crazy, that we create with our clogged senses largely a rather negative view of the world and a rather powerless sense of who we are, right? And so when Sensei was talking about training in Aikido, he was talking about something that was pretty far-reaching. If I can breathe through my eyes, I see the world a little bit more the way it is. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on that's not good. But I also don't see myself as trapped in that world. And I also don't see myself as powerless. If only then I'm in choice. There's certain things I cannot stop the pandemic. I can't cause people don't want to get vaccinated to get vaccinated. But I'm not so much in, there are consequences for choices or non-choices. I can monitor my own choices, and I can just realize that they're just right. I mean, if you go from a particular thing, right, everything comes out of the universe. It's almost like we tend to say things are good and they're bad. Everything comes out of the universe, whether we label it good or bad. Okay, the pandemic comes out of the universe, it comes out of nature, and we had a lot to do with it. You see what I mean? And we have a lot to do with perpetuating the pandemic, right? So we're involved in it because we come out of nature. But nature adapts, and nature always sends a message. Climate change, okay? Media. You get somebody who can manipulate media, they're powerful. They don't have to control more than a third of the country. But all of a sudden, boom, here we are. But we can, we can say the world is a certain way. We get a little better, then the world kicks us back. Okay, well, what if we just are able to say we're just going to continue? We're just going to continue. to breathe through our eyes and see whether or not there's a harmony to things. We might be missing, and we're a part of that harmony. When we lose ourselves out here, we can't do anything to facilitate the larger harmony, the Aiki of things. Okay, so within that, I think that was pretty way ahead of his time. I mean, still ahead of his time. You know, to some degree, he's a martial artist, has spiritual methods. But there are probably reasons why he didn't get on the soapbox. Because, you know, that when you start to do that, you have a pretty neat thing going. Martial arts, good. Yeah, he spoke about some universal truths. Because of the martial arts, we tend to kind of, even if we have a spiritual sense, we tend to get caught up in that. And so we're saying a little bit right here, oh, I'm just talking, I'm going to feel my way here. Now, that very vulnerable point where the world wants to, yeah, but you always get stopped there, As Bruce Lee put it, what changed? I found the cause of my ignorance. And we're all ignorant when our senses are clogged. It's all part of the training, even just on this very basic movement. And when the senses are clogged, the clogged senses feed the brain really stupid information. And the brain starts creating this stupid dialogue, which gets very toxic, which puts the eyeballs out here and keeps the world the way it is. Breathe through your eyes, bring your eyeballs back in. Start to breathe increasingly. Give yourself some communication skills. Breathe through your throat. Physiologically, we're breathing, but we're out here. Feel your heart a bit. You're breathing through your heart, your chest. Compassion. Yeah, it's pretty fouled up. A lot of people out there are hurting. What can I do about it? Nothing. Well, you've got belly, you've got some power, you've got some courage. It's only just to clean your own system up by cleaning the senses up. Yeah, our skin also breathes. If I was starting to feel, yeah, a map, it's a building, but really metaphorically here. So we're connected to everybody. We all come out of the universe in the biggest sense. We all come out of the universe. Okay? Or consciousness and matter. But we get caught up in the consciousness going in too many twisted directions. So we got to unclog the senses in order to get a sense of who we are. We put the world in a perspective. Do what we can. Try to be responsible. But our senses that we make the world better bit by bit. What does that mean? By making ourselves better. Okay? All right, so keep going. Better now. Now, take a second. Start breathing through your eyes. Now, let yourself know when you start to see the whole room. What you can't do when you're going this direction, but just a second or two, you start to, soft eyes. You don't see what's behind you, but you can have a feel sense of it. Okay? So, we'll pause there. How'd that feel? What? Yeah. See, we create a lot of that stuff. You take a second or two, read through the eyes, where you can start to some degree. Just I'm not sure that. See, that's the dialogue up there. I can't do that yet. Don't listen to it. Okay. Now, when you're breathing through your eyes and the eyeballs come in, you start to breathe through your own system. If you're not breathing through your throat chakra, you can't communicate anything. Okay. I mean, the other upper chakras are important too. We talk about third eye, This is, no third eye, no spiritual vision here. No crown, no larger, because everything is up here now. So, you get nourishment here. You have your ideals, but you'll also start to have tools like communication, compassion, bravery, connectedness. Those are all important. So just for a second, these are words. Breathe through your eyes for a couple of seconds. I'll do a move. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, now you're up. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit. I'll be your coach. I'll be Steve Kerr. Okay, okay, take a second to just breathe through your eyes. Don't worry about the technique. You know the technique enough, maybe too well. And you start to kind of feel or see the room. It doesn't take a lot. If you're thinking about whether you're going to do it or not, it's going to take you forever. But you get a sense, you're soft eyes. You're seeing, more than just him, tunnel vision. Okay? Then the question is, where are you breathing from your eyes to? Chest. I mean, you're not going to be articulating a lot right there, But your throat chakra, your heart chakra, the cold and feeling world, all of a sudden becoming colder and feeling a disillusion. And there's your belly, You have courage without some belly. Then, breathe through your feet. Okay, good. Go. Good. Good. Go again. Okay, how'd that feel? Yeah. So we get so busy running around with our eyeballs out here, listening to the dialogue, and we're doing something really good, right? Right? But the senses are contaminated and we're out there. Okay. David, why don't you stand up for a second? Okay. And take a second or two, breathe through your eyes to where you can kind of get a sense of the room, not who's attacking you. Okay. And you have that, but you'd be surprised. There's a lot of dialogue. We're all moving in the right direction. Okay. And then throat. Yeah, you have something to say. No, I don't even say the world says I'm total crap. Well, you can listen to that voice and it pushes your eyeballs out there. Okay. And there's, and it's easy. The world is cold and feeling relentless. So let's breathe to our heart chakra, our heart. Things like compassion. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there trying to, they're pretty much out for themselves. On the other hand, you can use it as pathetic and hopeless and say, well, yeah, that's just the way of the world right now. Breathe to your tummy. Just by bringing those eyeballs in. Okay, now start to breathe through your feet. Okay. Go. Good. Okay, now 10. Yeah, okay. Now how does that feel? Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
The first time all day that I didn't feel like I was struggling.
Well, see, the thing is, he's big, which means, of course, there's a lot of weight you can be moving. So, what does that say? Yeah. So what does that say? It's kind of like, okay. I mean, you have sumo wrestlers grab onto him, and like, don't give me anything and flip him. And you'd say something like, the reason I can do that is because you don't understand yourself in the universe as fully as I do. So, I mean, there's an area where, you just time in and you get better at the rote training at the level of the ground on the technique. But if you practice for a bit, you can come from a pretty good place. Not that we're, we're going to come where a sensei was coming from, because that takes maybe a lot of dedication, because you get you distracted. It was pretty much, it was a combination of tunnel vision, universal self. Okay. So, there's an area where, we're unrealistic. We're not going to go out there and say, okay, shoot at me because I'm going to train. He's like, no, I don't think it would work. Don't do it, by the way. Okay. But yeah, I mean, there's dimensions of ourselves that we don't tap before the world, kind of gets us in this vice grip. And we get tighter and tighter. The eyeballs go further and further out. And we feel more and more powerless. And, let me see. Okay, we're right about there. So let's everybody have a seat. Yeah, yeah. One of the things, for example, in Tai Chi, Master Choi used to stress eyes follow hands. Now, there's breath going in and out. There's the movements yin and yang. But I began to realize that a lot of that is about the eyes breathe. Okay? And depending on who you are, okay, you get it at different levels. Okay? And most of you in this area, you know who Kevin Durant is. He's a 7-foot guy, played for the Warriors. I still root for him. Incredible. I mean, some people say the best scorer of all time because he's all 3 levels. Michael Jordan was kind of hoop and mid-range, and he could make a 3 occasionally, but he was not a great 3-point shooter. And Durant can score at all 3 levels. Then he's 7 foot tall and he can dribble like a guard. But there's another guy that sometimes we miss, a guy named Dirk Nowitzki. Who is, well, what was he? Well, he was kind of not as good, but both Durant and he were tall 7-foot types with incredible distance and range. And so I was reading the other day this account, another guy, Jason Kidd, who was local. He was Cal. He signed, he played for Cal. He didn't go to a big basketball program, took Cal to the Final Four. Okay. Brilliant passer. I actually went to a game and saw him dish out 14 assists locally, in college. And that was a record. It may have been broken. I don't know. I don't follow Cal basketball. But what happened? He was not a good shooter. He could score because he's 6'5" and could handle the ball and everything. But his shooting was, Jason Kidd. So, yeah. Okay. So he originally got drafted by the Mavericks. He drafted Nowitzki. And so, he gets traded back to. And the combination, along with a good roster, he actually beat LeBron in the finals, win a title. Won. But hey, you win one, you're a champion. All right? And so, when he's traded back, he looks at Nowitzki and he says, teach me the secret of your shooting. And, he could make shots. I mean, Jason Kidd. But what happens is, Nowitzki goes through the thing about where you position your hands and feet and everything. And, it's stuff that, coaches have drilled Kidd on, right? No, your elbow's sticking out too far. No, your feet are crazy. Okay, so there's a certain amount of rote stuff. But Kidd was never what you would call noted for his shooting. Okay? And then all of a sudden, Nowitzki looks at him and says, and breathe through your eyes. And I read that, I thought, yeah. And Kidd, for a couple of years, he didn't play that much longer, but his shooting percentage from distance went up to 40%. Now, I don't think he understood what Nowitzki was giving him, but hanging around Nowitzki, he got some of it. Okay? So Sensei would say, don't look at the attacker. Doesn't mean don't look away from the attacker, but I think a lot of what he was saying, if you look at the hoop, you get pulled out. But, if you're breathing through your eyes, you're shooting from your center, aren't you? Okay? I mean, I read that. I was saying, even though, you get a jock, Jason Kidd, gifted, right, Hall of Fame guy. But you get Nowitzki, who kind of had the craft that you wouldn't explain by hours in the gym. And so he passes the gym on to the jock. He doesn't quite get it. It blows him out of the water, but just from being around Nowitzki, he starts to go up to 40% from 3-point, which is more than the norm. A couple of years, the last couple of years, he could shoot. And so I was kind of looking at that, and I was reading like a lot of the Tai Chi. You're breathing through your eyes. No, your breath circulates then inside you, the deeper level, as you're saying, deeper levels of integration. Since they said, don't look at the attacker. If somebody's attacking, we're looking at the arm, or we're looking at the attacker. All of a sudden, boom, you're breathing through your eyes. You're not looking through the attacker. Somebody grabs your wrist, all of a sudden there's weight, our eyeballs go out there, breathe through your eyes. You got to do more than that. But, the sense of it is, it's a shortcut. I'm sure if you ask Stephen Curry for the secret of his shooting, he might not say breathe through your eyes, but he's doing something more than just going to the gym and working on his form. He would have something. He would have something. You see what I mean? It's not about sports, but sometimes you hear something and you realize that person that said it is doing something from a finer place than just the jock place. Okay? And so I started going, oh yeah, that's Tai Chi. That's what we do when we say hands follow eyes. And Hikazuchi Sensei, Sensei said, don't look at the attacker. Yeah, you're not looking at the attacker, you're breathing through your eyes. It doesn't matter where you're facing the attacker. We're turning a little bit here, so you're seeing the whole room. Imagine Sensei saw the whole universe here. So you see a couple of things like that. There's nothing big in that, but practice. We walk into a room, read through your eyes, see the room. If you're negotiating, you're supposed to try to cut and win, read through your eyes, try to bring that person into and work out something that's mutually win-win. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that sometimes we ignore because it's so simple. For most people, you say breathe through your eyes. Is that going to help you? No. Not really. And there are different styles. If you were to talk to Larry Bird, you might say something like, take a snapshot of a whole court and then shoot. Don't stare at the hoop. Just feel. Bird's was a little different. Okay. But, Sadaharu might tell you, yeah, learn to wait. But if you're doing that, you're okay. So sometimes you get those nuggets. Suppose since they were here, he might look at you and say, do this precisely for you at this moment. Those are the things that are life changing. Not that this particular thing is, but you can play around with it. If you're walking, going to come into a room with a person, you have to breathe through your eyes before you walk through the door. When you come into the dojo, breathe through your eyes on the way there. I don't have a center when my eyeballs are out here. Well, I thought that the really bad part of the world is winning. We need to kind of unclog the senses. The other thing we work on some days is breathe through your ears. There's so much stuff we hear. Breathe through your ears. Breathe through your skin. Breath purifies. It cleanses. Now, I breathe through my nose, but on the other hand, the nose breathes is different than me breathing through my nose. It's, there's just funny things like that. So anyway, we're gonna. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, remember this Sunday is going to be CAA, so you can attend it online. I don't know. I haven't really heard from anybody other than I think it was Julie and David, but we just come a couple of the real senior people in the dojo. I just, if they're not going to go, I should have said, if you're not going to go, let me know, and I'll just kind of extend it to some other people. But you have to register, okay? And there's an online. That's this Sunday, yeah. So there's no class here. We're obviously going to be here a week from today. Question is, there's so much going on in the world, like all of a sudden, you've got a whole bunch of stuff. But the area, you don't want to be overly bold about the pandemic. You can wear masks, come here, got good ventilation. But you'd be surprised how fear can change. A lot of people that think about coming, all of a sudden they don't. That's part of the census being clogged. Right. Funny one. And I heard that. What's that about? And I began to realize, yeah, the senses are clogged, especially when the eyeballs are here. And there's all this, this stuff coming in, that we're hearing about things that are not good. Yeah, we're going to hear about what's going on. You breathe through your ears. Vision, hearing, very primal. There's other things that we could work with. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, unfortunately, we don't have as many as we normally do, but thank you all for coming. I hope it was a good class. Stand up, stretch. You still need to get the mat with the disinfectant. Okay. Okay.